We come round the final corner then to round off this championship in style and the season by winning and absolutely dominating the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix after starting from P16. Hang on, what's that? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to F123 Driver Career Mode. This is the Season 4 pre-season episode, and as you can see, we are leaving Ferrari. Tensions between myself and Sainz. We all knew that one of us would have to leave, and really the sponsors decided it would be me. At the end of the day, money talks more than the championship these days, sadly, and therefore Ferrari decided not to renew my contract with the team. Now this of course is very late in the day, because obviously a lot of teams have already got their lineups sorted for season 4, which could be the last season as well, possibly, depending on what happens with F124's release date, possibly coming at the end of May. But one team that we are going to sign for is Alpine. You know, they were looking for a new driver. They were looking to sort the situation after the after their collision at Silverstone in season 3, and they have accepted us. They were looking to get rid of both their drivers, as it looks like, because we're joined by Théo Pourchaire for season 4. I'm hoping he can be a little bit like what Piastri was back in F122's career mode, when he and I joined McLaren. You know, although this car isn't quite that there. Now, apologies about the way this calendar looks. I didn't have time to do a Photoshop. But effectively, I believe we are going to be saying goodbye to Monaco on F123. It'll be back on F124, but you know, we are going to take a break from Monaco to fit in the French Grand Prix at Paul Ricard, purely because we might not be able to race there if they don't include those tracks in F124. It's always a possibility that, you know, a track won't be included. We already know that tracks like China, Azerbaijan and Miami are going to return. The Netherlands is also missing out, and also Abu Dhabi in place of Mexico and Japan. So 3 changes there. But yes, we're here at Alpine. I've not driven for this team since F1 2020, and I've really never done anything competitive. Like, I've won 1 race for this team in the 2 career modes that I did for them on this channel. So, you know, it's sort of a little redemption arc. And obviously, technically, it's the first time we've driven as actual Alpine as opposed to Renault in there. Now, Aero, we got 2 remaining on the rear downforce. I think they're going to be the priority early doors, because we got that sort of in balance. But we are got the fastest Aero of anyone. So I think we can. That will be a target to max the Aero out as soon as possible, and you know, get good car on that. Sadly, we're still on spec 2 on that, but there's only a weight reduction, a couple of brake upgrades, and a tyre wear upgrade. And I think the tyre wear is better on the Alpine than it is on the Ferrari. So I'm not too fussed about that. Engine is a little bit disappointing that we're also not spec 3 on there. So Alpine, we really need those to be there. Durability is very good though. We've only got 2 upgrades left, which we will probably not do, to be honest, even with maxed out there. Anyway, it is now time for the car reveal. Oh yes, I am loving what I've done with this, to be honest. It's a blue and black livery, and you know, I've recolored the blue, making it lighter, and I think it just works perfectly. You know, especially with the black as well, fading. You know, with the pattern that they've got. Xbox, of course, big sponsor. The other sponsors that we've had throughout this career are also with us, but you know, Xbox obviously is Alpine's big sponsor there. You know, we've got a few upgrades to do, but then, you know, this car has big potential, and if we are in a right spot, we could challenge for the title. I'm not joking, we can challenge for the title in an Alpine. I mean, if you were telling people today in 2024, Alpine, you know, you don't think that Gasly and Ocon could be challenging for the title, but of course the grid is a lot closer than it potentially is in real life. As I say, testing has only finished today, but yes, obviously the unknown will be about Porsche. Can he perform? Will he obviously allow fresh focus compared to other people? But I'm hoping that he can really push us as well, and you know, he can get some good wins potentially as well and help us in the constructors. Now, replacing me at Ferrari is Esteban Ocon. Ocon has moved the other way, you know, and he's brought with him Accor Hotels, a French sponsor. You know, that's a huge amount. There's a bit of money there as well, but the big amount of sponsorship for Ferrari is through Santander and Telefonica, two Spanish companies, both of which wanted a Spanish driver at Ferrari. You know, obviously they would have walked if I had stayed and Sainz had gone. So they decided, you know, obviously that's a huge amount of money. Ferrari decided not to turn it down, and they were looking to continue their dominance with Sainz leading the charge. And Ocon, be interesting to see what he can do, to be honest. Whether he can, you know, will he come out the shadow, because he's been in Gasly's shadow, especially in season 3, where, you know, Ocon was outside the points and had some dreadful qualifyings. That would be where Ocon needs to improve and show the Ferrari faithful that he can actually deliver. Now for Red Bull, things haven't really gone well. They've always been busy trying to reorganise AlphaTauri. We'll get to AlphaTauri's new look for season 4, but it's lacking sponsors. A lot of sponsors walked out. Obviously, this team has had a difference. Not driver-wise, they still got Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, but sponsorship-wise and team-wise, they've lost Oracle as a big title sponsor. That's a huge amount of money that has gone down the drain. And Ford don't pay anything really for their sponsorship, you know, and they've got a handful of minor sponsors on the car this season, you know. But Red Bull, they don't really need the money anyway, to be honest. The sponsors that they've got are enough, and you know, Ford are happy with that decision. But obviously for Red Bull, the huge decision is probably more the personnel side, with Christian Horner, Helmut Marko and Adrian Newey all leaving the team. So it's all fresh personnel at the team. Obviously they still retain, it's you know, there wasn't a regulation change, so apart from the potentially something with the tyres, which I'll come to in episode 1, but you know, can this team continue to build? Can Ford finally deliver the engine that they desire? Now Mercedes have not done too much with this livery, to be honest, because I actually like the yellow and the DHL sponsorship, although we have got Lufthansa sponsoring them now, and I've changed a few of the other sponsors as well for some of their new ones. But for this team, you think that they have a good lineup in the form of George Russell and Lando Norris. Norris didn't even get a podium last season, you know, he wasn't really there. Russell did get some podiums, but was even worse consistently. Would end up going backwards in some of the races. So for Mercedes, they really need to sort the car out and then sort the drivers out, and you know, because they could, if they sort that out, they could be favourites of the Constructors' Champions at least. But until they sort that out, they're going to be fighting for 5th, 6th place in the championship. And the same also really goes for McLaren. Now, ignore the 4 on the car, and also the wheel covers. The wheel covers will change. The 4, Norris isn't back at the team. Bottas did retire, and replacing him is actually a good call for McLaren, because they've stolen Alex Albon for AlphaTauri and Red Bull. You know, Albon has had a good end to the season as well, season 3, so he should have a bit of focus. Piastri was a bit iffy, and I think Bottas wasn't the one to push Piastri upwards. You know, now that Albon's there, you're hoping that Albon will be able to push Piastri upwards. It depends on what where their car's going to be, because this team can either be, they can upgrade quickly, or they could just stagnate and then end up really losing interest. No real change really with the sponsors. You know, United, really, Hilton as well. United, Hilton, and CBS are really the three big ones for them, bringing in more than enough capable money, plus the others that they need to develop the car and the team for the future. That, of course, leaves a hole at AlphaTauri. You know, they had for the past couple of seasons, they've had a good, strong lineup with Magnussen and Albon. Now that Albon's gone, he's been replaced by Felipe Drogovic. Drogovic had become frustrated with Aston Martin, and chose to leave. And obviously Lawson, who's at Alfa Romeo, you know, he's committed now to that Alfa Romeo partnership, potentially getting that promotion that he wants to Ferrari at some point. Obviously, real life Visa, I mean, it's a blue. I've not made the bulls chrome. I tried doing that and it just didn't look quite right, to be honest. So I don't quite know what I'm going to do when this team we actually get this in F124, how I'm going to do this. But for now, it's you know, it's very much a blue livery. They got lots of sponsors like Visa, Scandic, and obviously all the other ones retain. They have lost Adidas to Haas, which I'll come back to in a moment. But yeah, it's done a lot better for AlphaTauri than their parent team Red Bull in the off season. You know, obviously they'll be looking to try and improve and get even more points as they did at the end of season 3. Now, Alfa Romeo, this could be the last time we see Alfa Romeo in this disguise, and it's actually an old stall style Alfa look, with white, red, white. You know, because obviously before Marlboro sponsored McLaren, they sponsored Alfa Romeo, and had a similar look. I've then gone for that maroon, red colour that Alfa Romeo have had in the past for a few seasons, and you know, obviously I've gone for that. So yeah, I actually quite like the colour and what I've done with this. Obviously for them, there's not really been too many changes. They still got a very good lineup of Leclerc and Lawson, but they did fall away. Sponsor wise, they've actually changed a few of the minor sponsors to be more of Ferrari's other, you know, Ferrari sponsors other companies like O2, Asahi, who owns Peroni, as well. But you know, a majority of the sponsors, you know, Umbro is still the big one, purely because of the kick livery, the kick logo being useless in the game. But yes, overall they'll be looking to get back to where they were at the start of season 3. Now then, Aston Martin, yeah, they've actually had, I want to say a good off season. They've still got Nick De Vries. I know it'll be the last time we see him, to be honest. I mean, because he's gone to Formula E in real life. By this point, he's done more episodes in my driver career modes than he has, well, at least 3 times as many episodes in this driver career mode series over the years than he has done in real life. But Aston Martin chose to stick with him, apparently. Don't know why, but they've still got Tsunoda, who of course won their first Grand Prix as Aston Martin Honda, but the Honda influence has been toned down. You know, Aston Martin have got a new ownership. You know, although Honda still retain a stake, it's not as much as they previously had. So you see some more, you know, they haven't pinched the likes of Duracell. They've got new sponsors like British Airways, ABB as well on the car. But yes, for them, they'll be looking to improve. They'll look and try and get De Vries further up the order and having a car that consistently challenge for podiums instead of just the odd race win. Now, Haas actually have a new engine supplier for season 4. I've kept this quiet. BMW are back in Formula 1 with Haas, but it's a team that's in a sort of two halves, because NGM have purchased a stake in the team. You know, obviously they're looking to, were happy with where they were at the start of the season, as were BMW. Zhou got 2 podiums. Where they were at the end of the season was very disappointing, but they are just, probably biding their time. They need probably a facility upgrade. And BMW's money, potentially, this new engine could potentially catapult them back up the grid and looking for consistent podiums. They retained Zhou and Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg, you could argue, that could have retired, but he hasn't done yet in this career mode. But obviously he didn't have a very good season 3. Zhou had a much better season 3 with those 2 third places, so they'll be looking to bounce back now that BMW have also got eyes on this team. It'd be interesting to see how they get on. And the final team, the team that probably is going to be at the back because they've still got Stroll and Sargent, it's Williams. This Williams is actually, I actually quite like it. It's a lot better than the season 3 livery that I made for them. With the light blue at the end. For them, they've got Air Canada as a big sponsor now. A little bit like what Komatsu has done for that team. No, not Haas's team principal, the actual sponsor, but for them, they just need a car and really some drivers, because Sargent was pretty useless for them. Stroll, actually, to be fair to him, did have some good races in season 3. I think Canada in the wet at the end, he did manage to survive as well. So really, for this team, they've got the money. Potentially, if they're comfortable with the lineup, they just need the car to be upgraded, really. But until they really sort out their drivers, I don't really see Williams making a comeback, unfortunately, in the near future. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I am going to leave it for today's episode. If you have enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more F123 and F124 driver career mode episodes as they come out. The next episode at Jeddah will be out probably later next week, because I want to get an episode of Race Week, 2 episodes of Race Week out next week. That's slightly a priority because of the delays. Apologies about that, but road closures causing havoc, unfortunately, as well. But yeah, the deliveries are all made. The 1000th video is coming probably the week after as well. F124 is probably going to get released on Tuesday, so announced on Tuesday, and then released in May. So I'm looking forward to see how we can get on in this Alpine. I've not driven it, I've not recorded the Jeddah episode, so I don't quite know how we're going to get on. But yeah, let me know what your favourite livery of the 10 is in the comments below, and of course who you think will be Drivers' Champion Season 4. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.